Today we're going to talk about verses we didn't learn in school. The Dawa people of today also try to avoid talking about them. We've even read them many times, but never took the time to understand them. These verses are very special. Because unlike other verses in the Quran, it doesn't contain the legends of the former peoples and we don't find them in any other stories or civilizations. The verses are unique to the Quran only, meaning these verses are a direct embodiment of the way of thinking and mentality of the Quran's writer. Let's begin. They taught us that Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam in the first phase of Islam, came with love, respect, and miracles, but the infidels of Quraysh, Allah cursed them, didn't believe him and denied the truth, and I have no idea why they taught us this. Because the Quran itself contradicts this narrative, as we'll see today in this phase, the Meccan period, when Muhammad confronted people that didn't believe in him, he couldn't order them killed and their women enslaved, and their money stolen. Firstly because he couldn't do this, and secondly because these verses didn't exist. Instead we had a different variety of verses. For example, we read the first surah that came down in the Quran, Surah Al-Alaq. Before we read anything, let's do a little introduction. Allah the All-Perfect, the Creator of the 7 heavens and 7 earths, and what is between them, decided to communicate with mankind, so his plan was to completely disappear, to the point that the characteristics of his disappearance completely apply with the characteristics of something which doesn't exist. Of course he's forced to hide because it's a test. It's a test where he already knows the results because he predetermined and wrote down the results of this test already after he disappeared. He wrote us a very beautiful and amazing book in Arabic, in an accent that would become extinct and become unintelligible in the future. Then he created a great angel called Jibril, which also has the characteristics of something which doesn't exist, but there's one person which can see him, which is Muhammad, and Muhammad saw him when he was alone in the cave, and he came to him with this final, beautiful message, which contains the first surah, Surah Al-Alaq, which is supposed to be a clear, beautiful and respectable to this religion, God, and Prophet, but nope. We almost reach the middle of this surah when the quarreling, threats and promises of hellfire start towards the people of Quraysh. Let's read. Have you seen the one who forbids a servant when he prays? Have you seen if he is upon guidance or enjoins righteousness? Have you seen if he denies and turns away, does he not know that Allah sees? This came directed to a person called Abu al-Hakam, or who Muhammad called Abu Jahl, father of ignorance. Switching names for insult is an old Arabic habit, called mad and hijra. We praise the person or tribe whom we like, and insult the one we hate, a habit which the Arabs still have, especially Dawa people on YouTube. If you pay attention to how they change people's names, so these verses are directed to Abu Jahl, because he saw Muhammad praying to his new god at the Kaaba, and they had been praying to their gods at the Kaaba for a long time, so Abu Jahl ordered Muhammad to not pray there, or meaning he's going to have a problem with him if he prays, so these verses came down to him. The rest says, no. If he does not desist, we will surely drag him by the forelock. If Abu Jahl doesn't stop this, we'll drag him by the forelock. Words that are difficult to understand because the all-wise God of the universe wrote the book in an accent that would go extinct and become difficult to understand, but no problem explaining the meaning of an extinct Arabic word. So Allah is saying, Abu Jahl, if you don't stop this, I'll drag you to hell from your forelock. A lying, sinning forelock. His forelock is lying is an old Arabic saying, like how we say, in our times, your face is showing your lies. It's the same thing. Then let him call his associates, we will call the angels of hell. Meaning, you'll bring your men, Abu Jahl, and we'll bring ours. This is how Arabs think, from that time to ours. This Bedouin and tribal concept about, bring your men and we'll bring ours. So Allah, praise his greatness, is talking in the exact same mentality of the Arabs. I'll drag you from the forelock if you don't listen to me and put you in hell, and you bring your men and we'll bring ours. It's a backstreet brawl. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how Allah talks to the infidels in the Quran, and forgetting all of this. The first time I read these verses and understood their meaning, I felt that the writer of these verses is a being which feels anger and envy and rejection in a way, and what's weird is that these feelings are completely human. These things require a human brain, human consciousness, and human experience so we can feel and express it. So how can Allah have these feelings while writing these texts? So it's hard for me to believe that these are the words of the Creator of the universe, when He Talks to an infidel of Quraysh, but sadly we're only at the beginning. We take another example. Responding to an insult with an insult is a clue to shallow and juvenile thinking. The best thing we can do when someone insults us is ignoring the person. Ignoring the insult is a clue of consciousness, but responding to an insult with an insult is a clue of shallow surface-level thinking and juvenility in general. We all know where this is going. We read from the surah that says, "Indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar. So pray to your Lord and sacrifice, to him alone. Surely your enemy is the one who shall be without posterity." I have repeated this surah many times in my life, because I want to finish the Rak'ah fast, and it's a short and easy surah, but I didn't know what it meant. Kawthar, yada yada, Allahu Akbar. Immediately, there's no need for me to know what it means, and when I learned the meaning, I was shocked. This surah came down for Al-As bin Wa'il, who said to the Prophet one day he was an abtar, and abtar to the Arabs is a humiliating insult, meaning this person's posterity is cut, a person who can't procreate and have children. Especially males, and when he dies, his name dies with him or it disappears. They call him abtar, so as called Muhammad an abtar. Muhammad heard him but didn't answer, of course, because he's shy, and as we know from the famous Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah does not shy, and he's the one that answered Al-As bin Wa'il, and said, "Indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, Al-Kawthar, so pray to your Lord and sacrifice, to him alone. Indeed, your enemy is the one cut off." The verses have very clear human emotions pouring out. Firstly, the creator of the universe left everything and came down to insult someone because he insulted Muhammad. We don't take it easy and stay away. No, we insult him back with the same insult. You say he's infertile. No, you're infertile. Not just that, we make Muhammad look good in front of the people. We have granted you Al-Kawthar. The theologians obviously differed over what Kawthar meant in a clear book, but they finally agreed that it's a river in Jannah. So, we've given you a river in Jannah. So pray to your God and sacrifice to him. Pray to your God and eat from the goodness he has given you. And the person that called you infertile, no, he's infertile. The level of the response is it's like if a child said to his mother, "Mom, at school they're saying I walk like an idiot," and his mom tells him, "Don't worry, I'll buy you ice cream today, finish your food," and the person who said you walk like an idiot is the one who walks like an idiot. Your enemy is the one who walks like an idiot. It's the exact same level. And proof that the insult is a purely human emotional insult is that Al-As bin Wa'il was not infertile. He had children, Amr ibn Al-As, and Hisham ibn Al-As, which means the insult was purely emotional, and not real. And I always used to ask myself, what did Amr ibn Al-As feel when he wanted to pray and feel reverence and read the Quran and reach this verse? The God of the universe is calling his father infertile, when he knows he isn't, so does it make sense that the God of the universe is saying this? Does that make sense? Another example, threats and promises are a completely human habit, and they're the argument of one who has no argument. We humans, usually,